Hey everybody, welcome back. Having a good time. Just playing the Eden runs, honestly, and enjoying like the randomness that can come as a result and the high damage that can come as a result. Here's your seed, by the way. K74EXLL4. What the heck is... Oh, wait, doesn't this mean... Hold on. Devil deals cost money, and shop items cost HP. Also known as never getting shop items. However, you know what? Everything jar is such an interesting concept, even if it doesn't always work out super well. It's basically, it's like a bad Book of Revelations, which still means it's like one of the best items in the game, right? It's 7 rooms to a Spirit Heart or something like that. Like, that's actually like a pretty pog payout ratio, especially, you know, once you start to factor in like batteries and stuff like that. I don't know, man. Like, to be honest, that's an interesting shop. Some of those... Wahoo. Some of those items are like worth the HP, just being honest. This was not. Like, I think in a normal circumstance where we weren't attached to our spacebar item, you would be pretty happy to see Jar of Flies for like 1 red heart if you had the HP to afford it. That's a pretty nice damage multiplier. Credit card for a red heart? Sure. I mean, like, could we not use credit card to get Jar of Flies for free? But then we wouldn't have everything jar, which is what we really want to begin with. But like, I digress. I digress. See, this is what's so interesting about this. You got it. Such a... Oh, please, no, it's broken. We got such an interesting run where we had to think about things right out the get-go. Some of the characters in the game are like that, and some of the characters in the game, you're like, please don't let me get hit by the ghost of my dead brother that's chasing me around. Actually, that's pretty fun. I'm not going to deny that. I'm also thinking... So everything jarred, like, at round 12... It could pay out with like an item pedestal, but I feel like the odds of it are like 1 in 20. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but just using it for a Spirit Heart, it feels like so cheap, right? Just to be like, oh, 1 Spirit Heart. Like live a little. I don't even want that, man. But it adds up. There's no doubt that it adds up, especially if you don't take damage. I mean, it's like a free curse room every floor. When you put it that way, it sounds bad, but I mean, it doesn't have to be a free curse room. You could use it for whatever you please. But it's way more than 7 rooms. Like, we're on 7 right now, I think. No. I can't lose my deal with the devil. Well, I don't know. Maybe we can, because we don't have the money to afford it to begin with. There's our Spirit Heart. I think, you know what? Let's be smart and let's take it. Let's not be stupid. That's what, you know, we know what the right play is here. Just make the right play. No need to be a hero. Okay, I like that. Our shot speed was already kind of bad, I think. As long as our shots hit midway, I'm, like, pretty okay with it. The real problem we have right now is tears. If we can just get, like, a Binky from our boss, I would be riding high. Of course, you can't always rely on that. There's about 1,000 shop items, I mean boss items. Don't quote me on that. I think there's under 1,000, somewhere between 12 and 1,000. I don't know if that narrows it down. It's not a great estimation, but if it's the best estimation available, then gosh darn it, that's how we're gonna roll it. Hey, does taking a shop item with like pound of flesh or whatever this item is called, would that mean that for the rest of the game, I would be shoehorned into devil deals? Also, do angel deals cost money with this? Because if so, I don't mind just going angel deals for the rest of my life. This seems fairly astute. Run. No tinted rocks. Anyway, we're kind of in a holding pattern for now, but that's all right. How am I doing? I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. Start of a new week. I keep forgetting it's Tuesday because I took Monday off for Family Day. Already spoke at length about how I feel about Queen Victoria Day. It's not that I have anything necessarily against Queen Victoria. I said necessarily against Queen Victoria. Don't even go in. Don't even go in. It's just that I think the holiday itself should be approaching its expiration. just so that we can, you know, work some new blood into the queue. Anyway, it was a good long weekend. We did some baby activity gym. I watched a couple of movies doing some YouTube stuff. You know, I finally saw Sorry to Bother You, which people have been telling me to watch for quite some time. Very good movie. I could totally see. I'm flattered. That movie is so cool. I'm flattered that you think I'm cool enough to like it, because I definitely think there's moments in Sorry to Bother You where if you were not into the movie, you would be like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Oh, come on. I, on the other hand, was like, what? That's crazy. I enjoyed it. I'm scared. You know what? This is a perfect room for this. It's also kind of a pog trinket, man. The sack here, 1 sack per floor. That's like a tarot card per floor. Whoa, what a shot. He totally caught me. He threw me a change up. The Brain Destroyer. Help, 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 help. Saved. But yeah, it's just like pretty low key. I'm just excited. Like, it's cold today. We bought and assembled a barbecue this weekend because we got trapped by false spring. If you don't know what false spring is, it's when, you know, you had a early winter, maybe you got some snow. Then February rolls around, maybe like around Groundhog Day, and you get some days where it's like you don't have to wear your winter coat. You can get away with just wearing like a light jacket or a sweater outside. And you're like, oh, our long nightmare is over and winter's about to end. It's not the case. It's false spring. Before you know it, you got like one more cold snap. Even if it's not that, it's only like -2 or something, but that's like, it's cold considering it was like 10 last week. Celsius, of course. It's cold out, man, but I'm still like, it's the better part of winter, because although it's cold, at least the freaking, hold on, I gotta go back and check something here. At least the sun is staying out longer. Like, this is good for morale. When you use an active item, it activates an additional effect of a random 1 to 2 charge active item. You got me thinking. I'm trying to think of like what 1 to 2 charge items I actually like. I think I'll take the next Spirit Heart available, but then maybe we could just start using this like once per room to get a penny, and maybe we get like, we're not going to accrue any more extra consumables as a result, but because I don't think there's any, well, actually that's not true. There's some consumable generating 1 to 2 charge items. Like wooden nickel, for example. I don't know, like, we'll see what we get. Let's just put it that way. We got a couple of rooms to go before we got to worry about it, but for now, I'm thinking, I'm watching how this is going to go with great interest. Now, hold on. Could we at least give one shot at the can here? Let's pop it down, see what we get. Don't hurt me. It was like some flies and some poop and some slowdown. I don't think that was worth it at all. But I do think getting a random item, even if the item is not that good, you know, getting a random item effect once every 2 rooms, it's interesting enough for me to at least like take a look at, right? Like, I don't want to just knock it. Yeah, like I would, except I'm spoken for. Look at that, unicorn stump. Okay. Not exactly a big help right now. But it could have been if I'd known it was coming. Plus, we keep getting money to spend on a devil deal, or, you know, if we get a chance. Because, oh, wait, it's poop. Our first one is poop. I'm willing to send it, man. No, I'm not. We should get coins. A coin every 2 rooms? Is that worth anything? I don't know. We're pot committed at this point. Give me the angel deal. Give me some damage. Our fire rate is actually not so bad. How the heck did we manage that? Go ahead. Try me. I thought that's what this did. You know what? I wonder if we couldn't use... I know it's already popped, but I wonder if we couldn't have used the Empress card to steal some shop items that would have cost us HP. But again, I don't want to steal shop items until I know whether or not it's actually going to ruin our angel deal chance and force us to only get devil deals. So, alright. Fair enough. I'm telling you though, one of these days we're gonna get something. It's gonna blow your mind. Caves 2. Caves 2. Really big shoe. Really big shoe. I'll take it. Don't mind too much. Okay, goodbye. Unless... Okay, goodbye. My bone heart. This run has been in stasis, man. Like, it's not necessarily terrible, but we're missing the killer app. I need that killer app, man. I'm hoping we're going to get that 66% chance of an angel deal here. Oh, you can pop it. Unicorn stump, huh? Okay. Big gulps, huh? Well, see you later. I'm starting to think that we don't want the capacitor anymore. I don't know why in my head I was assumed it was going to give me like the straw every time and I was going to be like, this is incredible. But that is not how that went down. It's not how that went down at all. Coin me. You did not have to use it. Oh, but we got the eraser. Would you let me? Would you? You piece. I'd never had to see this enemy again. Such a strange run. Like, everything looks okay statistically, but I'm telling you, this just doesn't feel right, you know? It's like driving a 1996 Ford Taurus. Well, no, like, not really, because that actually looks kind of hideous, too. And I say that as someone, I'm not just being a Ford motor vehicle hater. Ooh, 1 damage up and a random something on pickup. Soul of Lazarus. Come on, man. Like, I'm supposed to be your friend. Double familiar damage, or familiars have homing now? Look, I don't know if we have any familiars, but it beats capacitor. We're gonna go back in that room. I'm very happy for the damage. You know how it is. The endless dry throat of the end of winter. My dad did have a Ford Taurus, and I thought it was like the coolest looking car I'd ever seen. At the time, you can go look up like 1996 Ford Taurus and go look at what the dashboard module looks like where the car stereo is and stuff like that. This doesn't kill us, right? There was a time. If it kills us now, oh, we don't even get to do anything anymore. We just get to fire this. Okay. If this still like is bugged, then honestly, at this point, I mean, that's what can you say about that? That's the game's fault. I'm not gonna. Oh, and you know what? Are they homing because of the fact that we have the Forgotten Lullaby or whatever it's called, or are they just homing because that's what they do? If it's Forgotten Lullaby, I'm like, man, this is crazy strong. Anyway, long story short, I don't actually think the Ford Taurus is that nice looking of an automobile. I think if you went back in time, you would find that I just had a lot of respect for my dad, and I still do. But at the time, I thought that he could do no wrong. And now, as an adult, obviously, I'm like, that's not true. My dad can do some wrong. Not only because he's a human being, but because there's a track record. After all, he bought a 1996 Ford Taurus. I will say after that, though, he got a 2005 Honda Accord Coupe. I'm not a car guy. That thing was fun to drive. Might not be the fanciest car on the planet, but it had a little pep in his step, don't get me wrong. I know, you're like, oh, Dad's springing for the coupe. It's a car I designated drove to prom. Because I'm such a cool guy. That was a fun vehicle. And it had a CD player. I think that the Taurus might have still been on tape decks only, but I don't know. Actually, now that I think about it, I think the Taurus had a 6 CD changer. I wonder what percentage of a car's volume was dedicated to the 6 CD changer. You might not know this depending on, you know, your age, but at Best Buys and in Canada at Future Shops, there used to be a section. I would say it took up like probably 10% of the store's capacity, and it was exclusively dedicated to car stereos. You would go in and there would just be a wall of dials, and it was all the car stereos like hooked up to a substrate. I don't even know what you'd call it. You could see what the lights look like. You could play with the EQ and stuff like that. I was never old enough to really understand what was going on. Like, car stereos to that extent kind of have been phased out, I think, by the time I was driving, but it's a different era for sure. You ever notice, I don't shop for electronics that much. Like, I mean, I guess the ultimate question is, like, why would you? You know, you kind of, it's not like you need to buy a TV, like, once every 6 months. But you ever noticed how cheap TVs are? When did this happen? I remember the first time I thought about it. It didn't ruin our chance. Okay. Dead onion? What? Dead onion? Guess I'll take divine intervention. Remember the first time I thought about it was when Kate and I bought our first TV. We would previously just use like our computer monitors. It was like a maybe 32-inch flat screen TV. It was like $400. This was almost a decade ago now, so like it would be much cheaper now. I remember being like, for my 16th or 17th birthday, my parents got me a 19-inch flat screen for my room, and it must have been, let me put it this way, it was so expensive, I've never heard of the brand before or since. I don't even remember the name of the brand, but it was definitely like, they did not spring for like a JVC or like a Philips. It was just like, it was like a guy was making them, he was craft batching them in his garage or something like that. Now they're so cheap. You go to like a Best Buy here, there's just like pallets and pallets of TVs. It's like BOGO, like buy one, get one free. How did it happen? I don't know. I'm for it, don't get me wrong. I'm just surprised. I also remember like my grandfather, I came home from, so I lived in a duplex with my parents and my grandparents for like, I don't know, like 7 or 8 years. One day I came home from school and there were like several burly men struggling to carry an absolutely outrageously large, I'm not taking this, we have a great effect already, like this is interesting at least, like I won't bury the lead, okay? My grandfather had purchased a big screen TV, which in 1997 basically meant that it was like 64 inches, which isn't even that big by modern standards. It's still big, like, you know, it's large enough, but it's not like you've never seen a TV that large. Whereas at the time, I was like, this is the largest TV anyone has ever seen in their lives. But also, so it was, you know, it was like 5 feet in from one corner to the other, but it was also like 3 feet deep. So it took up almost the whole living room just to be able to stage this thing. And then the picture quality was legitimately only good if, and by good, I mean like visible at all, if you were directly in front of the TV. If you had to be sitting at even slightly an angle, there was no way you couldn't even see what was happening on the screen, even if you were like an inch away from the TV, because it only projects at like an angle for people that are watching it straight on. What a piece of crap, man. I think we've come a long way with TV technology. It's kind of funny because like the actual shows haven't really come that far, I guess, but sometimes it's easier to innovate creatively than technology, and sometimes, ooh, what the heck? Other times that's not the case. Well, that was a big nothing, considering it took 12 rooms to get there. Help. Did you help me? I'm gonna need you to help me. I'm hoping we get some other cool tier effects. Because, like, everything, this seems fine, don't get me wrong. Hold on, is there a key? Whatever, I'll do it. Now I'm like, wait a minute, maybe I do want to re-roll this whole run. But that we don't know that that's what that card would do. But I think that C-section might pop off with, like, some cooler, well, like a better rate of fire for one, but then also some cool tier effects. Like homing, piercing, I mean, I think it's doing something. Maybe, maybe not. It's just an incredible item. I think we got no choice. It'll also give us deals with the devil. Now, that's an interesting concept, isn't it? Because what is a deal with the devil going to give us? Is it going to give us a deal with the devil that costs hearts, or is it going to give us a deal with the devil that costs money? I don't know. I don't have an answer, but I'll save my money as a just in case. Ooh, okay, very important. Are you there popping out at a much more prodigious pace now? Maybe we didn't even need cool tier effects. Maybe we just needed like a fire rate up. I think this is genuinely the first time I used this item, because for like the first 3 months of Repentance's release, it was broken. Oh no, our OP item, it's broken. Saved. Saved. But I'm telling you, we get more tiers up. We're sitting in the freaking clear here. Anyway, I'm looking forward to March. I'm looking forward to the weather getting nicer again. It was nice to be outside. After assembling the barbecue, I did, you know, barbecue a little bit. But then it was so cold yesterday. It was like 3 degrees Celsius while I was cooking, and I was like, the grill was hot, but I was cold, and I was like, let me put it this way, the burgers didn't turn out the way you would want your burgers to turn out. We didn't christen it properly, but that's what we get. Every year, thousands of people get suckered by false spring. This year, I knew that false spring was a thing, and I know it happens every year. But we had like 3 weeks of protracted nice weather by winter standards. And I was like, maybe we're just getting an early spring. And you know what? But the earth has been through a lot. We deserve this. And then right back to cold. I really want to know what you do, but it is what it is. I don't think we can... We might die if we... Well, we probably... I don't know. Whatever. I'm never going to sweat our decision-making process in Isaac, given, like, if you don't like a run, wait 5 minutes. We got another one coming. Probably. Unless this run ends in a terrible fashion. Honestly, like, playing less of this game has been very good for my enjoyment of this game. First off, I no longer feel compelled to add, like, an artifice of randomness to the character generator. Like, I think we get enough variety just playing as Eden, and I'm having fun with that. And then on top of that, you know, we don't have any streak or anything to be attached to. I don't mind experimenting with some more interesting items. Like, I thought I had a great time on that Damocles run, even though Damocles killed us. And I think we learned something about the item in the process, which is, like, it's not a never take. It depends on your priorities, but, you know, it's sometimes it could be a good decision to take it, and it could be fun either way. That's where I'm at now. I feel like we're in a period of rediscovering the Zane now that I'm free to play the game. Free from my own self-made manacles, by the way, to play the game as we see fit. Okay. Desperately, though, we'd still like to get... I mean, I'd love to get, like, a soy milk or something on this run and just see what happens. Just see what pops up, you know? That's not too likely, but stranger things have happened. Satanic Bible. I guess stranger things haven't happened. How are we going to get soy milk? It's a special item, but it can't show up like in a boss pool or anything. I'm out of here. I'm done. I'm not done. We might as well do it at this point. I can feel my impatience starting to creep up, and that's not the game's fault. It's not the game's fault. It's my own fault. Gotta fight back against it. I will say, though, I'm kind of reevaluating January versus February in my mind. I've long been a believer January is the worst month because it's like a huge come down from Christmas to New Year's. But honestly, I don't know. I'm coming around to the idea that maybe February is even a little bit worse. Because February is like further from the last real holiday. Family Day is great, don't get me wrong. But, you know, we can talk about that next year. I don't want to blow next January's conversation so early. What we should be talking about is Elden Ring, man. I don't mind talking about it. Like, it gets asked every day, so I'm sure there's some people that haven't, you know, had their question answered. Definitely going to be playing Elden Ring at launch. I'm not really one of those streamers who's, like, worried about spoilers. I have an insane person take on spoilers, which is I don't mind them, A, to begin with, and B, if I read a spoiler, I actually think, like, I keep, like, a 2-second buffer in my brain. Like, ever since... like CBS has ever since the Super Bowl where they accidentally showed Janet Jackson's breast. This could be interesting or horrible. Let's see. Or nothing at all. I'll pay for this because we got Forgotten Lullaby and we're charging anyway. Might as well give it a try, right? Like, I could see a spoiler and then be like, I've seen it, but I'm choosing to stop it before it enters my memory. And if you were to ask me, like, hey, what was that spoiler you just saw? I'm not totally crazy, right? I would be like, I understand what I just saw. Help me? But if you do that and then wait like a day, I will forget the spoiler. You know, the less you actively think about it, obviously, the more likely you are to forget something faster. So I'm not worried about, like, I would rather not watch other streamers, you know, beat a boss and thus, like, deprive me of some surprise or something like that, or you know, just the trial and error of figuring out whether my build can work on this boss or not. But in terms of, like, people coming into my chat and being like, man, Gwyn is in Kiln of the First Flame or something like that, you know? That doesn't bother me at all. The beautiful thing about having colleagues who will stream the game and, like, be done with it in a day and a half is that I'll only have to, like, not watch them for a day and a half to not get super spoiled. I'm way more, I guess I shouldn't say like I'm above spoilers, but narrative spoilers don't bother me. Mechanic spoils bother me, mostly because people do it in a way that is like not, they don't think it's a spoiler because it's not like a story beat, but instead they'll be like, why don't you try shooting him in that green spot on his shoulder? Wink, wink. And then I'm like, you took away that moment of discovery that I could have had for myself after years and years of gaming experience. You took that from me, and now, even though I would have figured it out in a few hours, you get to be the person that's like, oh, I taught him how to do it. Then he can get back to the story. Nah, man, the story is like, I only care about there's like 3 kinds of Dark Souls cutscenes. There's like a 20-minute cutscene that happens when you start the game. There's like a 3-minute cutscene that happens at the end of the game. And then about halfway through the game, an insanely large man like pulls a chain to open a door, or he'll kick over a tree stump that blows up a rock that was blocking a cave that has a bonfire. Like, I don't need all those. I'm not against the story necessarily, but it's more of like it's a thematic thing. Forget the... you could not spoil the story of Dark Souls for me now. I don't even know what that story is to this day. Like, I kind of get it, you know. There was the furtive pygmy, first of his name. So easily forgotten. And then there was like, so it's like Gwyn, and he's trying to like, he's got a lot of responsibility, so he's like mega stressed out. So he's like, hey, Seath, you're like a dragon, but you're like Benedict Arnold. How about you betray the dragons and then like come work for me? And Seath is like, poggers, dude, that sounds nice. All these other dragons bully me because I don't have any dang scales or whatever. And then like, I don't know, it's like the first flame starts to go out and everyone's like, I'm cold, so they all hunger for like more of the first flame. And then Seath is like, what if I just turned you guys like into dragons? And everyone was like, stop that, ew, gross, creepy. And then I don't know, like Ornstein and Smo were there. They're like the most memorable characters in the game, even though they're literally just like the king's bodyguards. They're just chilling. I don't really know story-wise what's going on. There's something like that. And how many times have I played through this game? I don't know. Probably like 30. Yeah, that seems reasonable. Between randomizers and, you know, building PvP builds and stuff like that. Yeah, probably. 30 seems fair to me. I couldn't tell you, man. Dark Souls 2? Not really. I don't even want to talk about Dark Souls 2 just because I've seen a lot of like very pro Dark Souls 2 takes with Elden Ring coming out. People are doing like Dark Souls retrospectives. It's my opinion. I know I did not always hold this opinion. I was very hyped for Dark Souls 2 at release. I might have said something insane, like I think it's even better than Dark Souls 1. The final boss of the Dark Souls 2 DLC is so, like, of the game, if you have the DLC, I should say, is so funny. The fact that, like, people already didn't really love the final boss of Dark Souls 2. And then they were like, okay, we hear you. You weren't that big of a fan of that. So now the final boss is just like a dude in some robes. That's so funny to me. But if anything, I think Dark Souls 2 is kind of overrated. Dare I say. I don't think anyone would give a crap about it if it wasn't a Souls game, or at least, you know, if it didn't come out directly after Dark Souls. I say it pains me to say that because it means walking back my earlier insane takes. Yeah, this is the one. My insane take. I said it on stream today. Right, and it can change day to day. I think there's only 3 data points that I adhere to for my own personal Souls tier list. Dark Souls 2 is at the bottom. Right above that is Sekiro, which is a great game, don't get me wrong. And then Dark Souls 1, Dark Souls 3, and Bloodborne. Have I forgotten one here somewhere? Are all, like, in the running. And Dark Souls 1, Dark Souls 3, Bloodborne. Yeah. And I think Sekiro might even be, like, up there with them. I really think it's, like, Dark Souls 2 and then all the rest. But I do also think Dark Souls 3 would probably be my favorite Souls game. It's so mechanically good. Like, it's got what I want. It conjures up the same stuff from Dark Souls 1. Like, they literally go back to the well. They're like, they nostalgia pill you a little bit, which I'm normally quite reticent to endorse. But the mechanics are so good. And the game, like, those games for me are all about the epic boss battles. I'll say it again, so you can cringe and bat chest. The epic boss battles. And Dark Souls 3 has the best. Bloodborne also has some amazing ones. Sekiro also has some amazing ones. Dark Souls 1, it's got some good ones. It's still a great game. And, like, on map design and world building, maybe it would win, but I'm like a Dark Souls 3 man myself. But it's close. Like, Bloodborne is legitimately... If you ask me on a different day, Bloodborne could be number 1. This is such a fast run that for some reason feels so unbelievably slow. But look at these familiars, man. These are not homing tier familiars, right? Like, this is double damage. Have I gotten it wrong the whole time? Just say yes. It'll be fine. Good run, though, honestly. I don't know how I feel about C-section as an item. Like, it seems fine. Maybe we didn't have, like, the perfect build for it. Definitely seems better against, like, a single enemy than multiple enemies, but, like, it's still worth taking, I would say. Out of all the tier effects, hey, at least unlike Trisagion, it actually has an effect. I just wish it had, like, some more AoE associated with it. And that's okay. You can't always get what you want. I don't even know what happens if you try sometimes. By the way, I had to make some phone calls. It's like tax season. Some places you still have to call. You know, I need like a form from my bank that they're not going to release online until March. So I had to call my bank and be like, hey, I know you guys aren't going to release this form till March, but can I just have it? And they were like, oh yeah, here it is. Anyway, like in calling around some places, I have to let you know another reason I don't like the telephone. I accidentally called a wrong number. And like, it didn't feel right. Like I was calling a business and it rang like 20 times. I was like, this is a bad sign. Then a very old man on voicemail came on and was just like, Teddy Pendergrass isn't here right now. Leave a message. Beep. And then I just hung up. I got like, I thought that was the end of my interactions with this gentleman. Over the course of like the last hour and a half, I've gotten like 4 missed calls from this guy. I have to imagine that he's not like harassing me. Instead, it's like, you know, he's probably calling me wondering why I called him. But the reason I called him was accidental and I don't want to talk to him. He doesn't want to talk to me either, so why are we phoning each other? I know I drew first blood, but what do you want me to do? You want me to call you back to tell you that the first time I called you was because I dialed the wrong number? Maybe. I'm not even mad at this guy. It was my own mistake that started this in the first place, but I'm just saying it's yet another, you know, data point for the telephone, man. Also, then I another phone call I had. It was just, you guys live in a building where like there's a room where you receive cell signal well and a room where you receive it badly? I was taking a phone call in my office. I could hear like every sixth word they were saying. How is this still? I can stream Netflix on my phone. I could have like a 4K movie directed by Christopher Nolan just playing on my cell phone seamlessly. But a phone call like with just 40p audio is like, oh, that's too much. We can't even make the words out. You know what would be sick? Here's some technology I'd love to see. What if you used like the Google auto transcribing feature for YouTube video closed captioning? And as someone talked into the phone, it took their audio, fed them through the closed captioning, and then just spit out like a crisp digital signal of what they were saying. I guess it wouldn't, I'm not a telecommunications engineer. I'm sure that there's a reason this doesn't work, and also, obviously, like sometimes those captions are terrible. It's like autocorrect, sometimes they try to cancel you. Did I ever tell you about the time my mom was here on vacation and she tried to text, like she went back to her Airbnb. She tried to text, I'm inside, but then she texted man inside instead. This is a scary typo, man. Hey, anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the episode. If you did, click the like button. We got to win. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. See ya.